April brings rain. Okay, and for many Metro Detroit communities, that is enough to create some anxiety. We've seen what happens.
Absolutely. It brings a lot of anxiety, a lot of people anxious because that season is upon us again. Some neighbors are just more prone to flooding, some neighborhoods, some homes. So we saw that happen and time again. Certainly the aftermath of historic rain from last year left entire streets underwater for days.
And some owners found out the hard way that their insurance did not cover the damage. So this morning, Local 4's Nick Monticelli shares insider information so you don't get stuck with the bill if it happens again.
During any type of rain event, we have to be careful because the anticipation is that the street will flood.
When it floods, we park the car in the church in the back.
When you talk to residents in flood-prone areas like Hanover Street in Dearborn, they constantly fear rain and how much of that water could end up in their homes. What's tricky, though, is understanding how your insurance will or will not cover the damage.
It's heartbreaking when you don't find out until it's too late.
Chris Hall is with Meadowbrook Insurance Agency. He says, believe it or not, there's 3 different types of insurance dealing with water inside your home. The first is flood insurance.
Think of it as water that encroaches from the outside of your house inward. So that is a specific coverage, never included on a standard homeowner's policy. In fact, you have to go out and buy your own separate flood coverage.
The second option is for water backup.
And that is, think of water encroaching from a sump pump, right? From the bottom up. So water backup could also be called sewer backup. We saw this in August of last year. We saw a lot of claims for this. If you have a torrential downpour that puts a lot of pressure on the city sewer, it pushes water, forces it to reverse course and goes into your home. Now you have a water or sewer backup situation.
The third is water seepage.
If you have water that pushes from the outside underground and pushes itself through the cracks in your basement, that's water seepage, and that's also defined separately on the policies.
All 3 of these are separate policies, and adjusters will pay close attention to how the water got in. Something else to consider is mold that might grow after the fact. And you guessed it, that's another policy.
So if it's sat there, especially if it's behind the wall, maybe you don't notice it for a month or 2 or 3, and now you have a mold situation that's gotten out of control. Well, again, mold is not usually covered on a homeowner's policy. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I guess this is about education and really just encouraging everybody to take a look at your policy for these key words.
And that's the key to all of this. Look at your policy, see what's covered, what's not, and talk to an insurance agent to see if you should consider more coverage. Did you know that there's actually 3 different kinds of flood insurance?
I did not. I need to look into it.
In Dearborn, Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News Today.
You got to make sure you check your policy. I mean, very important
Definitely look
information
into
there.
it, as he said, because it is new information for a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know that.
Did not know, and you don't want to find out the hard way.